The series begins with a woman sprinting through a crowded truck yard, desperately trying to escape a relentless FBI pursuit. She darts between massive trailers, searching for somewhere to hide, but every path leads to another dead end. Within moments, an armed FBI agent corners her and orders her to surrender. Just when it seems there's no way out, the story rewinds to reveal how she ended up in such a hopeless situation. 12 hours earlier, Luciana Armstrong, aka Lucky, is spending what she believes will be her final night in America with her husband, Carrie. The couple is staying in a luxury hotel in Las Vegas with 2 suitcases containing $10 million in cash. By the following morning, they plan to board a cargo ship and disappear overseas under new identities. Carrie is optimistic, convinced they've finally escaped the dangerous life they've been trapped in. But Lucky can't shake the feeling that something is terribly wrong. Her instincts tell her that everything has come together a little too easily. Carrie dismisses her fears, urging her to stop listening to her doubts and simply enjoy the few hours they have left. Trying to forget their problems, they head into the casino and spend part of the stolen fortune gambling, laughing, and celebrating. They continue their night at a club before ending up on the hotel's rooftop, where they toast to the future with champagne while overlooking the bright lights of Las Vegas. For a brief moment, they seem like any ordinary couple dreaming about a better life. Eventually, Lucky begins feeling strangely dizzy before losing consciousness. The next morning, she wakes with a pounding headache. The room is silent, and Carrie is nowhere to be found. At first, she assumes he's stepped out, but panic quickly replaces confusion when she discovers the suitcases filled with cash are gone as well. Carrie hasn't simply disappeared. He has abandoned her and taken every dollar with him. Before Lucky can process the betrayal, she turns on the television and sees her own face flashing across every news channel. Authorities have launched a nationwide manhunt after learning that she and Carrie stole more than $10 million connected to a massive mob-operated biodiesel fraud scheme that defrauded the government of hundreds of millions. Federal agents have surrounded the hotel, believing the fugitives are still somewhere inside. At the same time, FBI agent Billy Rand arrives with a large task force and immediately begins coordinating the search. She orders agents to secure every exit, inspect surveillance footage, question hotel staff, and search every room. When they reach Lucky and Carrie's suite, Rand notices signs that tell a clear story. Carrie appears to have left calmly with the money, while Lucky fled in a hurry, suggesting she may have been betrayed just as badly as everyone else. Meanwhile, Lucky quietly slips into the casino, hoping to blend in with the tourists. Everywhere she looks, television screens display her photograph beside Carrie's. Security guards and police officers are scattered throughout the building, making every exit feel impossible. She finally reaches the hotel's front entrance, believing she's found a way out. Then she suddenly freezes. Standing among the crowd is a quiet, intimidating man watching the entrance. The instant Lucky recognizes him, she abandons the exit and turns back inside without hesitation. Whatever danger waits outside with that man seems even worse than being captured by the FBI. Later, while reviewing security footage, Agent Rand spots the same individual and immediately recognizes him as Dutch, an enforcer working for Priscilla, one of the most powerful figures connected to the stolen money. Rand instantly realizes Lucky isn't only running from federal authorities. She's also being hunted by ruthless criminals who won't hesitate to kill her if they reach her first. Knowing she can't stay inside any longer, Lucky heads toward the hotel's loading docks. Thinking quickly, she uses makeup to create the appearance of a black eye and approaches a departing truck driver in tears. She tells him she's escaping an abusive boyfriend who's trying to find her. Moved by what he believes is a desperate plea for help, the driver allows her into his truck and drives her away from the hotel just moments before Rand and her team reach the loading area. Although Lucky has escaped, Rand isn't discouraged. Studying her options, she concludes that airports would be far too risky, leaving bus travel as the safest choice for someone trying to disappear. She immediately orders officers to monitor bus stations throughout the city while requesting routes and passenger information. During the ride away from Las Vegas, Lucky reflects on the chain of events that brought her here. Her father, John, is serving time in prison after becoming involved in the same criminal organization. Years earlier, while working for Priscilla, he secretly skimmed small amounts of money from an enormous laundering operation until he had hidden away $10 million. His dream was to use that money to give himself and his daughter a new beginning far away from the people they worked for. Lucky had always believed the plan would eventually end in disaster. Once Priscilla discovered the missing money, everyone connected to John would become a target. When John learned Priscilla was about to be released from prison, he realized there was no time left. He convinced Lucky to recover the hidden cash before anyone else found it. Despite her reservations, she agreed, believing Carrie would stand beside her until the very end. The truck driver eventually drops Lucky near a shopping center outside the city. Before leaving, he quietly admits he never believed her story about an abusive boyfriend. Whatever she's running from, he says, is clearly much more dangerous. Instead of asking for payment, he gives her some cash, wishing her good luck before driving away. Using the money, Lucky completely changes her appearance. She cuts off her long red hair, bleaches it blonde, changes clothes, and creates a new identity before making her way to a nearby bus station. Police officers are already watching passengers, but by keeping calm and blending into the crowd, she manages to board a departing bus without attracting attention. As the bus leaves Las Vegas behind, Lucky finally allows herself to believe she may have escaped. She has no idea that Dutch has been watching her all along. Keeping a safe distance, he quietly follows the bus, making sure she never realizes that one of the deadliest men in Priscilla's organization is still tracking her every move. As the bus continues across the desert, Lucky receives a call from her father. Knowing the line could be monitored, they speak in coded language. Even without saying it directly, John immediately realizes something has gone terribly wrong. Lucky lets him know that Carrie has disappeared along with the money. Instead of panicking, John reminds her of everything he taught her growing up. He tells her to stay calm, read the people around her, never lose control of her emotions, and trust her instincts. Those lessons kept him alive for years, and now they're the only thing that might save his daughter. Before ending the call, Lucky promises to buy a new phone because she knows this one can easily be tracked. Back in Las Vegas, Agent Rand and her team identify the mysterious man from the casino as Dutch, Priscilla's trusted enforcer. The discovery raises the stakes immediately. Rand knows that if the FBI captures Lucky, she'll at least have a chance to stand trial. But if Dutch reaches her first, she'll almost certainly be killed before anyone learns the truth. Catching Lucky has now become a race against time. The bus eventually stops at a roadside gas station, allowing passengers to grab food and stretch their legs. Lucky buys a sandwich and tries to stay unnoticed, but her luck runs out when an FBI agent recognizes her from the nationwide alert. He follows her outside, draws his weapon, and orders her to surrender. It's the same confrontation shown at the beginning of the episode. Just as she's about to give herself up, a speeding car suddenly crashes into the agent, sending him flying across the pavement. Before Lucky can react, Dutch appears behind her with a gun and forces her into the waiting vehicle. Inside the car sits Priscilla herself. Lucky is stunned to see her free from prison, while Priscilla wastes no time getting to the point. She demands to know where Carrie is and where her missing $10 million has gone. Lucky insists she's just as desperate for those answers because Carrie betrayed her too. She explains that he vanished overnight with every dollar they had, leaving her alone to deal with both the FBI and the criminal organization. Priscilla refuses to believe a word of it. Convinced Lucky is lying, she orders Dutch to transfer her into another vehicle and take her to one of their safe houses, where she'll be questioned again. The criminals make one critical mistake. They underestimate the woman sitting in the back seat. While pretending to be helpless, Lucky quietly studies everything around her. She notices how the doors lock, where the weapons are kept, and waits for the perfect opportunity to strike. When one of her captors lets his guard down, she suddenly attacks. A violent struggle breaks out inside the moving vehicle, causing the driver to lose control. The car crashes into the desert, leaving everyone dazed. Lucky crawls from the wreckage, but one of the surviving gunmen follows her into the open desert. Drawing on the survival skills her father drilled into her from childhood, she turns the fight around and kills him before he can overpower her. Bruised, injured, and exhausted, she walks away from the burning crash site alone, proving she's far tougher than anyone expected. As she struggles across the scorching desert, another memory comes flooding back. Not long before everything fell apart, she and Carrie had visited one of John's hidden storage units. Together, they loaded millions of dollars into suitcases, laughing and dreaming about the life they would build once they escaped. Looking back now, those happy moments feel almost unreal. The man she trusted most disappeared with everything, leaving her surrounded by enemies. After hours under the relentless sun, Lucky spots an isolated farmhouse. Before she reaches it, she notices two young girls unknowingly wandering toward a rattlesnake. Ignoring her own injuries, she rushes forward and saves them. Their grandmother, Sylvia, comes outside carrying a shotgun, unsure whether to trust the exhausted stranger standing in her yard. Thinking quickly, Lucky invents another story. She claims she's running from an abusive ex-boyfriend who happens to be a police officer. Sylvia immediately sympathizes because her own daughter suffered years of abuse before losing her life. Believing she's helping another victim escape the same fate, Sylvia welcomes Lucky into her home, cleans her wounds, feeds her dinner, and promises she'll be safe there. Later that evening, John calls again, but Lucky ignores the phone, knowing any contact could reveal her location. Sylvia mistakes the call for the abusive man trying to find her. Elsewhere, Priscilla visits John in prison, hoping he'll convince Lucky to surrender the money. John refuses to cooperate, insisting his daughter is far more capable than anyone realizes. Their conversation quickly turns into a tense exchange of threats, with neither willing to reveal anything useful. Meanwhile, Agent Rand investigates the desert crash site and pieces together exactly what happened. She concludes that John secretly stole the money from Priscilla years earlier and instructed Lucky to retrieve it before Priscilla's release from prison. Now Lucky has become the target of both the FBI and the criminal organization. Rand believes catching Lucky will eventually lead her to Carrie, then to Priscilla, and finally, to the powerful crime boss behind the entire operation. Although her theory makes sense, her superiors warn her not to let her personal determination cloud her judgment. At the same time, Priscilla begins searching for Carrie herself. Using records from a rental car company, she tracks down the vehicle he abandoned at a shopping center. Inside, she finds an address that leads her to a man named Noah. When he claims he knows nothing about Carrie, Priscilla simply shoots him in the leg and has him taken away for further questioning. She later meets Whitaker, the ruthless mastermind whose criminal fortune she had been laundering. It becomes clear that John stole $10 million from the enormous pool of dirty money Whitaker entrusted to her. Furious over the loss, Whitaker grabs Priscilla by the throat and makes his position painfully clear. He wants every dollar returned, and once Carrie and Lucky are found, he intends to have them both killed. Back at Sylvia's house, Lucky begins to feel safe for the first time since Carrie disappeared. But that peace doesn't last. Agent Rand arrives at the farmhouse asking questions. Sylvia hides Lucky with her granddaughters while trying to convince the agent that no one else is there. Rand politely asks for a glass of water, using the opportunity to look around the house. She notices 4 plates drying in the kitchen despite only 3 people being visible. Realizing someone else is hiding inside, she warns Sylvia that Lucky is a dangerous fugitive wanted for multiple serious crimes. Understanding the danger she's brought to the family, Lucky slips out through the back before the FBI can find her. She quietly takes Sylvia's pickup truck along with some cash, knowing she'll never survive without transportation. As she drives away, Dutch hears the police broadcast describing the stolen truck and immediately changes direction. Lucky's escape doesn't last long. Sylvia's truck runs out of fuel at a lonely gas station, where Dutch finally catches up to her. She narrowly avoids capture once again by slipping away while police sirens approach in the distance. With nowhere left to hide, she makes one incredibly risky decision. Instead of running farther away, she secretly climbs into the bed of Dutch's pickup truck before he drives off, gambling that the last place anyone will think to search for her is inside the vehicle of the man hunting her. As Dutch unknowingly carries his target toward Priscilla, Lucky prepares for the next move in a deadly game where one mistake could cost her life.